Hello everyone, welcome back to a new video. If you haven't read the title of this video and you're wondering why I look a bit, pale and sickly, it's because we're going to be trying out some new makeup together today. I recently put in an online order at Sephora and I also purchased some things at my local drugstore and I'm very excited to be trying those out today. I have purposefully not opened them and kept them in their packages so that I could do an actual first impressions in this video because I always think those are the most fun to watch. And I'm very excited about finally getting to use these products that I've been looking at for, I would say 2 weeks for sure. Many of these products are products that have been like trending in some sort of way on social media. Some of these, are a bit older, but I just haven't had the chance to try them yet. And some of these are, pretty new products that I'm very, very eager to try. So let's just dive straight into it, right? However, the first thing I'm gonna do is clip my hair back because these curls and bangs are very fun to look at, but not very fun to have. If anyone happens to be wondering where I got these hair clips from, they're from the Revolution and Love Island collab. I do not know why Revolution has a collab with Love Island, and I have never personally watched that show either. So there's no legitimate reason for me to own these clips besides the fact that I, love the colors. And I just needed some clips like these to use while I do my makeup. So that's why I own them, and I don't know why anyone else would own them. Before I start applying any skincare or makeup products, I'm gonna give you a close-up of my skin because I think it's always very refreshing to see influencers or, content creators show their real skin. And I always love to contribute to authenticity, and I think it will be like a good comparison to see what my real skin looks like before we actually apply makeup, and then you can have a good, comparison before and after, right? So this is my bare skin up close. I am generally very happy with the state of my skin. I have struggled with it in the past when I was like 12 or 13 years old, but ever since I, got through puberty, I would say that my skin has been very good. I've never really had to complain about it a lot. This is not a flex. This is just one of the things in my life that goes well for me. I am very pale and I don't use any self-tanning products, and I don't really tan in the sun either because I want to protect my skin as good as I can, because as you can see, I do have freckles and, a natural inclination for skin cancer. So I would like to not cause that to myself. I do have like 2 minor breakouts going on right now, but it's honestly barely visible and it's not like it bothers me at all in the slightest. But I think it's just from wearing too much sunscreen or not cleansing properly, and I don't really care. So now let's actually get into it. The first product I'm going to be applying is this sunscreen. This is the Madagascar Centella Hyalu-Cica Water Fit Sun Serum SPF 50 plus PA++++. Made with pure Centella from Madagascar. This is by Skin 1004 or Skin 1004. However that is pronounced. I know this is actually like a pretty popular Korean sunscreen, but I had actually never heard of it until recently. I always use Korean sunscreens, but I found that the one that I was using was kind of, breaking me out more than usual. So I actually asked ChatGPT to recommend me the one that would be best suited for my skin because, I have very dry skin, also very sensitive skin that, reacts to most products. And I low-key hate the feeling of sunscreen on my skin. I have to wear it and I always wear it, but I low-key hate how it makes me feel. I just hate the feeling of like having greasy, wet skin. No matter how mattifying or, drying a product claims it is, there's always some sort of film over my skin that I can actively feel, and it just sometimes makes me go a little crazy. So I am always on the hunt for a product that promises to do better than the product I already have. I'm just like in search for the perfect sunscreen. I still haven't found it. I have some really good ones that I really like, but there's always room for improvement, and that's why I purchased this one. Considering that this is like a water-based serum type of consistency, this promises to like actually dry down and not leave like a tacky feeling on the skin. So I'm very curious to see if that's actually true. If it is, then I will be really happy. I'm gonna start with this amount. It feels pretty nice. It feels very lightweight, very thin, very watery, just like it promises. So that's already good. I'm going to use a tiny bit more because I'm running out. There actually isn't a reason for me to be wearing sunscreen right now because it is, 9 p.m. Probably 10 p.m. at this point, but I just wanted to try this product out and see how it works under makeup. This is it on my skin. As you can see, it leaves my skin a little glowy, but it doesn't leave like a white cast, although I'm so pale that most things would not leave a white cast for me. But yeah, it looks pretty nice. Actually, I really like it. It's just a sunscreen, but it looks great. I feel like there's like some color back into my skin, even though that's not possible because it's not tinted, but I feel like that. It feels quite nice on my skin, but it's still a little stickier than I would like. But normally I would let my sunscreen, you know, dry down a little bit longer than I'm going to right now because I don't usually wear foundation on the regular. I also don't wear makeup every day, but for the purpose of this video, I will be applying foundation and all of that other stuff. I don't have a new product to try for my foundation because, as I said, I don't really wear foundation all of the time, so I don't really purchase new foundations often. And whenever I do want to go the extra mile and put on like a full beat, like a full look with foundation included, I already have products that I've tried and tested that I will reach for. Right now, I'm using the Truth Tint by Made by Mixel. This is a very, you know, lightweight skin tint in the shade H2. This is something that I, you know, have tried many times and I really like it. It is, you know, very skin-like, which I love because I don't really love the thick consistency of foundation either. But for me, this, you know, evens out my skin a bit and also helps all of my other cream products blend out better. So whenever I do want to, you know, like I said, do the full face, this is what I will use. I usually just apply this straight onto my face because I find that if I apply it to my hand first, then a lot of the product, you know, seeps into my hand and gets wasted, and we wouldn't want that. So as you can see, this perfectly balances out my skin tone. It's very moisturizing. It's not very drying on my skin. It looks, you know, very glowy, but I will obviously set it with some powder later on after I applied my cream products. But I love the way this looks on my skin, and it's working well with the sunscreen as far as I can tell. I also do not have a new product to try for my concealer because I don't wear concealer. I have tried so many concealers, but I find that they all crease on me. No matter what I do, no matter which techniques I use, it always creases. And I just feel like it looks better if I just blend out my skin tint or my foundation into, you know, my under eye. And that way there's like a tiny little layer of product that is, you know, covering up the darkness, but it's not like thick enough for it to cake or to crease. I just think it's very important that you find out what works best for your skin and what really doesn't. I have tried to make concealer work for me so many times because everyone is using concealer and everyone is like, okay, this one actually doesn't crease. This one is so good for dry eyes. This one is so good for, and all of them just do the same thing on my skin. So I just figured that it was not meant for me and I moved on, and that works great for me. The next step for me is liquid contour or, you know, bronzer. It's kind of the same to me being as pale as I am. This is the Rare Beauty Soft Pinch Liquid Contour in the shade Gentle. This is something that I saw in so many viral TikToks and in other YouTubers' videos, and it was also recommended to me by my best friends because this is supposedly something that works really well for really pale skin. Bronzers are really difficult for me. I feel like everything just instantly looks too orange or too dark. I have tried, again, so many products, but I just haven't found the perfect one yet. I also really love the liquid bronzers made by Mixel, but I was out of that one, like it was fully empty. So instead of purchasing the Made by Mixel one, I decided to opt for this one instead because I heard so many good things about it. Also from my best friend, who is, you know, a good reference for me because she's also quite pale, not as pale as I am, but, you know, close enough. And this works really well for her, so it must work well enough for me. I'm a little scared of the pigment of these because I know the blushes are insanely pigmented, so I'm not gonna go too heavy-handed, but I will just, you know, try to carve. I feel like that's too much already. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Okay, let me try to blend that first. Okay, I think that's not too bad. Oh my god, I actually really love it. That's so perfect. I'm obsessed already. I'm obsessed. I'm gonna apply a little bit to my forehead in a second, but I was scared of how pigmented it was going to be. I actually really love that. Like, it's a contour, but there's still like some warmth to it, which I think is perfect because it's not orange, but it's also not gray. I think it's like the perfect in the middle, and it's exactly what I needed. So thank you to all of those TikToks and my friends, but I will be, you know, finishing the rest of my face right now. I do feel like it dries down pretty fast, so don't wait too long before blending it out because I can feel like this one on my forehead is already a bit drier than the one on my chin, but it's still, you know, working. I'm going to apply just a tiniest bit more here because I feel like I need a little bit more color. I'm going to try the tiniest bit on my nose. I have actually never done this, so this might go horribly wrong. I think it might, but hey, we still need to powder, so it doesn't really matter. That actually eats. It actually eats. I'm so obsessed with this. I'm so happy that they weren't overly pigmented because I made the mistake too many times with those Rare Beauty blushes where I just applied too much straight off the bat and, you know, wasn't able to blend it out anymore. So I'm happy I didn't go too heavy-handed this time, but I felt like it wouldn't have been a problem if I did because these are very, very blendable, very, you know, sheer, buildable, but not, you know, there's still plenty of pigment. It's just not overly pigmented. I definitely recommend this shade of this product if you have a similar sort of complexion to mine. I also don't have a new product to try for my liquid blush, but since we're already using Rare Beauty for the contour, we might as well, you know, stick with the brand and use the liquid blush as well. This is the liquid blush in the shade Happy. I think this is a very popular shade. This one works really well for me. I just, you know, as I said, can't apply too much because then I'll look like a clown. So I'll start with that, and that might already be too much, but we'll see, we'll see. Oh no, we're good, we're good. We're good. I can apply some more actually. I'm going to apply the tiniest bit more. Okay, maybe, you know, a little bit more. That might have actually ruined everything. But whatever. No, I think that's actually perfect. I think it is. So like a tiny little bit on the nose. Perfect. Now the tricky thing is to find balance on both cheeks. Let's say that, right? Let's say that. Does that look balanced? I think it does. I think it does. Now, once again, for the powder, I don't have a new product. I'm just using the, you know, classic Laura Mercier powder in the shade Translucent because this is the only one I have. I only have a smart jar as well because I don't wear, you know, foundation often, as I said. So this is perfect for me. I've had this for a long time as well. It's probably expired, but who cares? I do like to use plenty of powder because I don't really love the greasy feeling, as I've said. This is what my skin looks like after I've powdered it. It looks a little bit dry right now, but I will bring some life back into it when I use my setting spray. I have a little trick for that that always does the job, so I'm not too worried about that. Now, moving on to my eyebrows, which is always a part of my makeup routine that I dread the most because I just don't like doing my eyebrows. I don't really have a good base to work with, and I just find it really tricky to make something pretty out of them. But these were the cards that I were dealt, and I have to learn to live with that. So, you know, I try to find some good products that are easy to use that will, you know, help me in that process. So for my brows, the first product that I'll be using is the Brow Lamination by L'Oreal. I have seen this specific product in so many YouTubers' videos, and they were always raving about it, so I'm very excited to see what the fuss is about. It's very possible that this is a product that works really well if you have, you know, a lot of eyebrow hairs, which I don't, but I guess there's only one way to find out. I have a mirror like right below the camera, which I might be looking into because this is like very, you know, precision work. I knew that this was a clear eyebrow gel, but I was expecting, you know, a little bit more. It's not really doing anything for me besides, you know, putting them in place. But my eyebrows are not very unruly because I don't have a lot of eyebrow hairs. But, you know, I also have a pencil to fill them in, so maybe that will help. For now, we will just, you know, place them where they need to be. I don't know how I feel about this specific product. I do feel like my eyebrows are, you know, locked into this position. I do not know if that is a good thing. And I do feel like my eyebrows look more sparse now because, you know, I've combed the hairs up instead of all going in the same direction. But I'm curious to see what they will look like after I filled them in, which I am terrible at, by the way. So pray for me. But maybe then I can tell you how I feel about this brow lamination product. I'm gonna give it a minute to dry down so that I'm sure that I'm not disrupting it by applying my eyebrow pencil. The next product I'm going to be using on my eyebrows is another product that I've heard so many people talking about. This is the NYX Micro Brow Pencil in the shade Blonde. The reason why I've seen so many people talk about this pencil specifically is because it's super fine. I definitely agree with that. It's one of the finest eyebrow pencils that I've ever seen, so I hope this will, you know, work well for my eyebrows. I've picked a pretty light shade. I usually go with a shade darker than what my actual hair is, but, you know, this time I actually went for blonde because I thought that it would be harder to spot any mistakes that I might make if it's not, you know, super dark compared to the rest of my brows and hair. So here goes nothing. Yeah, so I actually hate this. This is not blonde. This is, you know, orange or something. This is like caramel, but it's not blonde. This is completely my fault for selecting the wrong shade. I should have just gone with like the medium brown or light brown or whatever I usually use, because this just looks like I bleached my brows, which is a look. I don't mind it. I don't hate it, but it's not what I was going for. But, you know, I'll do my other eyebrow and see how I feel about it. Yeah, this is not really what I was expecting or wanting. I can't really judge this product fairly because I can't really see any individual hair strokes because of the color and how it compares to my actual eyebrows. So I don't really know how to use this pencil in a way that really actively demonstrates its abilities. So I will have to try again with a different shade sometime in the future. But for now, this is what I'm rocking with today. Before I apply my mascara and my lip products, I also have a new setting spray to try out. So this is a You Miss by Fenty Beauty, which I've also heard many good things about. It's supposedly very long-lasting and really sets your makeup in place and holds it down, which is always what I look for in a setting spray because I want my makeup to last through, you know, hot weather, rain. I live in Belgium, so it rains quite a lot here. So any product that can help my face stay intact is always greatly appreciated. I'm going to be spraying this onto my face and I'm patting it in a little bit with my beauty blender because I always feel like this helps all of my, you know, skin products blend in with my actual skin. I've also heard that this is a really fine mist, which if that is the case, I will be really excited about because I love a fine mist. Okay. I hate my hair getting setting spray in it. I usually like apply a whole towel over my face and then spray it, but I'm not going to be doing that for the video. Okay. That feels nice. It feels nice. Okay. Oh, where is it? Okay. That might have been overkill. I really love that setting spray. I don't know how long it will last, but I feel like that's going to be good. I do have to say the smell of it, not great. It smells a little bit like raw potatoes. That's not necessarily a bad smell, but it's not something that I would want particularly on my face. But on the other hand, I'd rather it smell like that than something overly perfumed because my skin, as I said, is very sensitive and doesn't like perfumed products. So I know this won't irritate my skin, probably. I've also just realized that I completely forgot to apply my highlighter. I always do this because then I apply, my cream products, my powder, and then I'm like, oh wait, I do use powder for my highlighter. So I'm going to apply that very quickly. I also don't have a new product to try for my highlighter, so I'm just using one that I use on the regular. This is by one of my favorite indie brands called Oden's Eye. I would recommend this brand and their products to anyone. It's actually one of my favorite brands ever. They have beautiful packaging, beautiful products, great pigments. I am not sponsored at all, by the way. I just really love this brand and I would actually love to be sponsored by them or work with them, but someday maybe. But yeah, their packaging is always inspired on like Scandinavian, I think specifically Norse or Swedish mythology, I'm not sure. But yeah, this is like a pinky highlighter, pinkish shade, very beautiful. Let me find my brush though. There it is. Oh no, it broke. But alas, it is no problem. We can just fix it just like that. It's probably my punishment for still using this brush, who is by a creator who shall not be named. No. This just adds a beautiful shimmer and a little bit of shine, but it's not overpowering, and it also adds like a little bit of glitter. I know not everyone wants glitter on their face, but this is like the kind of glitter that I don't mind. I don't use this highlighter every day, but I needed some extra glow. So this is how my skin is looking now. I love everything besides my eyebrows. I actually hate those with a burning passion, but whatever, they're on my face for now. For my mascara, I don't have anything new either. I'm just using the one that I use every single day, which is the Essence Lash Princess. This is a very cheap drugstore mascara. I think it's like €2 maybe. This is the False Lash Effect Mascara in black brown. So it's like a little bit lighter than a black mascara, but this is so good. Don't mind how horrible this packaging is. I could not get the price tag off. And then this is like the primer. So it's like a greenish tint sort of mascara primer that you use before the mascara. And I think it really helps make the mascara perform better. I've been using this every day. I have so many backups of these because I love them so much and I do not want them to be sold out. They're so cheap, so I don't feel bad about buying many backups of this one particularly, but I would recommend this to anyone, especially if you're like a little paler or blonde and you don't want like that super intense black on your eyes. This one is actually pretty, it still looks kind of natural. I'm just quickly going to be applying that off camera because I hate applying my lashes on camera. Well, my mascara, you get what I mean. This is what my finished mascara looks like. I tried to fix my eyebrows a bit while I was at it. They still are a bit orange, but they're, slightly better. I love this mascara and I love the way it makes my eyelashes look. It's, slightly clumpy, but I like that look. I also did apply like 3 coats of it, so, For my lips, I actually have 3 products to try and I'm gonna try all of them because I need to try all of them, so. Now, the first thing that I'm going to be trying is this lip balm by Summer Fridays, mainly because I don't understand why a lip balm that is that expensive would be worth it. But, I might change my opinion. This is the shade Pink Sugar. I picked this one because it seemed like the one that I would get the most use out of. Let's apply it, I guess. I'm not using a lip liner right now because I'm going to be trying all 3 of those products, but I will be using a lip liner for the last product that I put on my lips, which will be the Fenty, lip products. I do love the way that this applicator looks. It does feel pretty good. I really like the way that feels on my lips. I love the way it looks. I think it would look a lot prettier with a lip liner, but I'm not going to be using that right now. I don't know if I would ever get another one of these products unless I, had money to spare, but I do really like it and I don't hate that I picked it up. I'm going to wipe this off so I can try the other products. The next product is this r.e.m. Beauty lip oil in the shade Picking Petals. This is another one that was recommended to me by my best friend because she has it and she loves it, and she sent me some videos of her lips with it on and it looks gorgeous, so I needed to try this. This is once again a very interesting applicator with a little metal ball inside it. Very excited to try it. Oh, that feels so good. And it smells good too. It smells like lychee juice or something. I actually really love this product as well. I do think I prefer the Summer Fridays balm over this. This one is super pretty as well, and it feels so nice on the lips. Like, I've never had an applicator feel that nice on my lips. And it does feel very moisturizing. You know, it looks pretty, and it's nothing spectacular. It smells great as well. I'm not mad that I bought that, for sure not. Okay, removing this as well to apply the final lip product. I'm first going to line my lips with this lip liner. This is the Lifter Liner by Maybelline. This one is in the shade 06 Line Leader. It desperately needs to be charged. Sharpened, but I'm too lazy right now, so I'm just going to try to make this work as well as I can. So now for the final lip products, we have the Fenty Beauty Gloss Balm Oil in Raspberry Gems. I don't know if this product has ever been viral, but it is relatively new, and I saw it in the store when I went to the UK, and I just found it so absolutely mesmerizing. This is such a pretty color. I love the shimmer inside it, and I hope it looks pretty on my lips as well. Let's apply it. I hope this is really pretty because the Fenty Beauty glosses, heat glosses, whatever, they are my favorite lip products by far ever. So if this one is pretty, then that's just another one to add to my collection. That pops out of a lot of product. I feel like I spilled somewhere on my clothes, but that's a problem for later. Oh my god, it smells so good. That is actually the best smelling product I have ever put on my lips. It smells like sunscreen in the best way possible, like the tropical type of sunscreen. There's this one perfume out there which is called like Montale, I don't know how to pronounce it. One of my friends in uni had it, and she just smelled like a summer holiday, and that is exactly what this product smells like. Most of the gloss bombs or the gloss bomb heats don't really have a smell, or not a pleasant smell at least, but this one smells divine. I could eat this, which is weird because I wouldn't want to eat sunscreen, but I could eat this. I think it looks beautiful on my lips as well. It is absolutely beautiful. It's gorgeous. I don't really have many words for this. This is everything I wanted it to deliver. It did. So this is the finished look. I actually love all of the products that I tried out except for the eyebrow pencil, but I feel like we already knew that. But everything else was straight up a hit, an instant hit. And, you know, I don't say that often, but these were all products that I absolutely love and will continue to use for a very long time. So that is a success in my eyes. Here is a last close-up of my face. I'm really liking the way my skin looks. The sunscreen worked perfectly with all of the rest of my products, so I'm very happy about that. That is always, very good to know that your sunscreen works well with your makeup. I completely forgot to film an outro for this video for some reason, so here you can see me posing for the camera, trying to shoot a thumbnail. I hope you all liked watching this video. I really loved making it, so if you want to see more content like this in the future, then make sure to thumbs this video up and to subscribe to my channel. It would really help me out. I hope to see you guys soon. Bye!